Now, the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
It sounds easy to say, but they live it and they continue to live it. And that's my only explanation for the success, is that they get it, they thrive on it.
I know we played good defense most of the year. If we can get that kind of effort back and keep somewhat of an offensive juggernaut that we've been lately, that's why I said this team has a chance.
With the regular season in the books for the MSU men's basketball team, it is now time for Tom Izzo to turn his attention to his favorite time of the year, and that is tournament time. All year, he has said he feels this team is capable of making a run, especially when it has a healthy Malik Hall. The senior has battled injuries all year, but is finally starting to find his mojo again. And as he shared with our Ian Kress, it's all because of his father, Lorenzo. He's helped him keep things in perspective, because ever since he was 9 years old, he's had to watch him battle dementia on a daily basis.
He's just an elite scorer, has struggled on this end though. Michigan State's got to make it.
We'll go back to senior day for you against Ohio State. You get to celebrate with your family, obviously get a win. So what was that like to have your family there for you on senior day?
My dad just got out of the hospital not too long ago, so it was very exciting that he could make the trip down. And even kind of just watching from years past, like all the family members, just being there to celebrate like one day. I think it's something that's beautiful because family plays a big role, especially when you're at a high level of basketball. So it was definitely something that was great for me.
And when did you realize or find out that your dad was going to be able to make it after he was in the hospital a couple weeks prior?
I found out like pretty early on. Like once he got released from the hospital, my mom told me that he was going to be able to come because he was feeling better. So it was a good thing.
How much have you been, keeping up with what he's been going through and all that while you're going through the season you're having right now?
Obviously, I keep up with it pretty often because it's my dad. I got to. My mom also does a good job of kind of informing me, not telling me too much, but telling me enough so that I'm not like worried or anything. So most of it's all really hers. She's got the brunt of everything.
Going through your freshman, sophomore, junior year, seeing other guys go through senior days, is it kind of what you expected? Obviously, you get the win, you kiss the Spartan head, and then the post-game ceremony.
Honestly, like watching other people go through it, I thought it was going to be a lot bigger than it was. And then kind of like when it happened, I was just like standing back there in the tunnel, and I was like, oh. Like I'm just standing here, like it's not really much, like I thought it, but it was definitely something that was great, I really enjoyed it, definitely a lifelong memory.
I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, but what did you think of the one more year chance?
I mean, I love them, obviously. Spartan Nation's great, the A-Zone, we have such a great fan base, they show so much love to everyone on the team, and I think it's just something amazing, and I really appreciate them.
This season you've had, obviously maybe not the one you would have dreamed of as a senior with the injuries, but what has this year been like for you trying to get through the injuries that you have had to deal with?
Trying to hold my head high, making sure I'm stacking my days, doing all the work that I can to just get healthier and healthier as I go on, and also kind of just trying to be the best teammate that I can, whether I was playing or I wasn't playing. This season really has taught me a lot about myself and a lot about how to be a better leader and how to be a better teammate, specifically when you're not really on the floor.
In what ways did you learn to be a better leader just from sitting on the bench throughout the season?
Little things like just being able to watch, being another voice. Obviously, like no player really likes when your coach yells at you, no matter who it is. So I think just being another person that can like echo off what the coaches are saying, or telling some of the players like what I'm seeing, like, hey, like you can do this read, or like if you get in 2 feet right here, that it'll be easier, things like that. I think those were just some of the things that I was able to help with.
Did seeing maybe what your dad went through when you were younger help you in a way mentally, going through what you were going through with your injuries? I know it's different, but did that help at all, knowing like, okay, it's not the end of the world for you?
Yeah, I think it quite honestly just puts a lot of things in perspective. Just because seeing what he goes through on a daily basis and kind of what my mom go through, it just like a little 1-month injuries wasn't really much, to be honest. So it just kind of put a lot of things in perspective for me.
Seems like sports is a big part of your family. Just how would you say that has brought you together with your parents and your sister as well?
I kind of honestly think it's really like the glue for the most part. Obviously my dad coached when I was younger. He trained both me and my sister when we were younger. My mom's worked in sports for 20+ years, so I mean, it's really just like we find a bond kind of over the sports world and just different basketball games or even like football games and things like that.
Coach was saying that he wants this group to get a banner. Obviously with you and Joey, you were a part of that 2020 Big Ten championship team. For you now being a senior and having a bigger role with this group, how much would that mean to you to get one as a senior, a banner?
It obviously would mean a lot because I think just everybody who's been here has kind of been through the wars. And we've been through a lot, so I think not only just for us, but for Spartan Nation as a whole, I think it would be a very big deal.
Hall grew up in Aurora, Illinois. It's just about an hour away from the United Center in Chicago, where the Big Ten tournament is this weekend. And for the first time since the 2018-19 campaign, the Spartans are hoping to win it all. We sit down with the man who is better known as Mr. March when we come back.
As we go to break, Farm Bureau Insurance invites you to register to win an exclusive private dinner with head coach Tom Izzo. Go to InsideTheGreenSweeps.com to register.
At MSU FCU, we believe that if you can dream it, you can achieve it. With a variety of certificate options, you can find the one that matches your savings goals. In 3 months, you'll be sporting that new watch. In 6 months, you'll finally take that vacation you so desperately need. In 1 year, you'll begin a new chapter in your life. And in 2 years, your family will get a little bit bigger. Achieving your dreams is possible when you earn more on your savings. Open a certificate today at msufcu.org.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
The last time the MSU men's basketball team won a Big Ten tournament title, it was the 2018-19 season. The Spartans held off rival Michigan in a thriller, 65-60 the final. It was an instant classic, and it all went down at the United Center. Tom Izzo is hoping to recreate some of the same magic this weekend because his main goal is to always have every class who graduates raise a banner. Well, as we have been discussing throughout the whole season, as certain milestones come and go, it's hard to believe that it is Big Ten tournament week for you and your team. Last week of the show here for us, so I kind of thought I would open it up for you. What do you want to talk about?
Well, it's kind of been fun. The show's been good. Hopefully it's been good for you. You know, it's always great when you can bring some things to light that you don't normally get to do. It's a little more laid back, so you're not as front of people, and so I've enjoyed that. But you know, it's been a heck of a year, as you know, for a lot of different reasons, and some good, some bad. But you know, I really did screw up on a few things in scheduling early and how we did it, and you know, got caught with that aircraft carrier, which I'd have never passed up, but got caught in the timing coming back. And you know, when you travel, you realize how hard it is when you travel, and think about being a player and still going to school. And so I learned some lessons. I'm still going to play a tough schedule, but I'm going to have a little more control of my schedule than maybe I have this year. I think we're playing our best basketball. We're definitely playing our best offensive basketball. Unfortunately, our defense has been a little offensive to me, but it's been, you know, we've done it before. We've worked on it hard these last few days, and hopefully it'll make a difference.
Yeah, you mentioned that I just need 3 days out of you for 3 weeks.
Yep.
How have you seen that resonate so far?
Well, that was my battle cry. You know, you always got to come up with a battle cry, and the battle cry was, unfortunately, at this time of year, you get to practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then you go to Chicago, and we didn't know if we were going to play Thursday at one time, but you go to Chicago, and there's not a lot of practice time you get, and then in between games when you have one-day preps, there's none. And then you come back, and if you're lucky enough to play to Sunday, you come back and you could have Monday, Tuesday, and then you're traveling to go maybe out west. You don't know. So what I did know is I have these 3 days. And so that was the battle cry. 3 days to cover us for 3 weeks. And it was just a way of, I don't know, stating the obvious, but letting them know that these 3 days are really important. We have no school. We can put everything into basketball. Let's do it. It'll be worth what could happen in the next 3 weeks.
You rattled off a number of offensive stats at your press conference.
You know, Joey Hauser's shooting 50, or Tyson 53, 52 from the 3, and 86. Hauser's 53, 56, and 91. Hogarth 44, 50, and 86.
Do you remember the last time you had a team that was shooting at this high of a rate for both from three and the field?
I do. Never. It never happened. You know, we're in the 50s in both in the last 5-6 games, and even the whole conference season is better than you think. But the stretch that we've had has been unbelievable. Unfortunately, the defensive stretch we've had has not been very good. And, you know, some of it, you know, when you make 5 or 6 of your last 7 shots at Iowa, that changes what was, maybe they were shooting 40% and all of a sudden it's 50, you know? So those things change fast. End of the Ohio State game, they hit a couple buckets, end of the, you know, and so that makes it look worse. But we haven't been as good defensively. We've addressed it, and we'll see if we can do something about it.
What's it like though too when, I mean, you're just, you know, left and right, popping off shots, and then the crowd gets into it, and, you know, then the arena erupts. And when you do that though in tournament time, it has to feel even more thrilling or exciting, you know, to have those shots rattle off like that.
It is, if they rattle off. You know, they got to rattle off. But it is thrilling and it is exciting. And unfortunately, you know, it was thrilling for the Iowa people at Iowa. So that's the way it works. But offense usually, good offense leads you to better defense. We've been through so many things, and, you know, the mental preparation, the mental exhaustion, all those things that happen because of things that happen at the end of the year. So what I'm going to do is, I know we've played good defense most of the year. If we can get that kind of effort back and keep somewhat of an offensive juggernaut that we've been lately, that's why I said this team has a chance.
In his 28 years, Izzo has won 6 Big Ten tournament titles and 10 regular season crowns. It's become the norm for him here in East Lansing. And there's another Spartan coach who's hoping to follow in his footsteps. MSU gymnastics coach Mike Rowe was able to lead his squad to its first ever Big Ten title last week. We chat with him when we come back.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
After last year's historic season, the Michigan State gymnastics program has upped the ante yet again. On February 27th at Illinois, the Spartans won their first ever Big Ten regular season title in the program's history. The first of many 6th-year coach Mike Rowe hopes to collect while at the helm in East Lansing. This is the first time that we've been able to sit down with you actually after winning the Big Ten title. So as you reflect back on that day, the meet against Illinois, winning it there, what comes to mind?
Actually, it was calm. I don't stress as much as I used to. They haven't really given me a reason to. Back in the day when Beam was our nemesis, my hands used to drip. I would pace back and forth. That's not here. I just think everybody knew what it took for things to happen like they did. We, if anything, tried to downplay the meaning of it or whatever. It wasn't like, oh, you got to do this, or this isn't going to happen, or, you know, it just took it as another day. I don't know from the girls' standpoint, I don't know what they discuss in the locker room, I know they're crazy and they listen to music and, you know, just get that feel-good mode. Everybody has their own way of pre-meet preparation and everything, and different techniques to do that. But I think just minimize the possibilities, or, you know, what could or might not happen if we don't do this. And we weren't flawless. I mean, but we still came up with a decent score, and it was enough to win, and that's what we needed.
Alan was there as well. Yeah. He was celebrating right in the thick of it with you guys as you're hoisting up the trophy and everything. How grateful are you not only to continue to have his support, but also grateful for the fact that Illinois really let you kind of take on almost if it was like you were at home winning the Big Ten title?
It was really nice. First of all, it was a surprise that, you know, he showed up. Jackie Joseph, our sport administrator, was with her, and that was the first time with us. And that was the first time she actually had traveled with us, which was nice. And she's crazy behind us and supporting us, and, you know, just always stepping up. But the whole administration has been like that, you know, since we've kind of turned things around and been on a good path. You know, Alan he just says it all the time. He's so proud of what the girls have done and where we've brought the program, you know. There's no way that I can take sole credit for anything because we have such a big support system that helps. My associate head coach Nicole and Devin and Alina, John upstairs in the weight room, Destiny is our athletic trainer. I mean, she's done a magnificent job of just keeping these kids in, one piece long enough, the longevity to get through this because it is a very taxing sport and season.
I'm glad that you brought up Nicole too, because she's been an associate coach here for 6 years, way longer part of the program than that. But how instrumental is she to what we're seeing this season?
Oh, extremely instrumental, especially because, and I don't want to just pawn it off on the gender aspect of it, but the generational aspect of it. The girls have certain issues that I'm sure they wouldn't want to bring to me. They go to Nicole, and she can handle that. She's been highly instrumental in our conditioning and our warm-up plans, that kind of thing, in choreography with Alina, because before Alina came back, when she was at Alaska, she did all of our choreography, and she has 3 Big Ten floor champions in 2017. So she's got it. We have I think overall we have a good dance background staff, so we can all put in little plugs here and there, and we could basically all coach any event.
You now too get to compete one last time at Jenison this season. You mentioned prior to last weekend's tri-meet that you were excited to get back because it felt like you had been away for just so long. So what do you want to see in this final home meet before you get ready for championship season, as well as send your seniors out in style?
Yeah, that's kind of bittersweet. It always is, and I just want it to be a great time. I want it to be a celebration. We don't have any problem celebrating and having fun out on the floor. That's kind of like the premise of, us competing. They turn it on and they just go, and whatever the first event is and first person up, it's for an hour and a half going strong, and it's real. It sounds easy to say, but they live it. They thrive on it, and then we turn around and look at the scoreboard and we're like, look what you did. Was that a 10? Was that what? Never before in program history on bars, and we're just like, well, there is now. You're in the record books.
Hazlitt native and senior Jory Jackard is who Rowe is referring to. She recorded a perfect 10 on bars last weekend at Jenison, fulfilling a lifelong dream of hers. She grew up going to MSU gymnastics meets, and you're going to hear from her when the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show returns.
Closed captioning sponsored by Hearing Life, helping Spartans love their ears. With 41 locations across Michigan, go to hearinglife.com to take a free online hearing test. Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
In last Saturday's tri-meet with Bowling Green State and Long Island University, the Spartans set 5 new program records. It was truly an unreal performance and one Jory Jackard will never forget. The senior recorded the program's first ever perfect 10 on bars. And when she sat down with our Haley Schoengart, she shared how this was a moment she's waited her whole life for.
We got to talk about the big thing. You're the first person ever in Michigan State gymnastics history to get a 10 on uneven bars. Have you soaked it in yet?
It was such an incredible feeling, and I just feel so honored and blessed to be able to be the first one to do that in program history. It's like, I feel like I really haven't soaked it in just because it is like such an incredible thing, and yeah, it was just very nice and exciting, and just to have all the support there was truly an amazing, blessed feeling of mine.
You've been kind of chasing this perfect 10 on uneven bars. You've seen the scores come really, really close. Walk me through that moment where the judges flipped the signs around and you saw them the perfect 10 for the first time.
I was just kind of like sitting back, relaxed, not thinking too much of it. I was just happy that I hit a solid routine, and then that's when like Curler came up and she's like, you did it, you did it, and I was just like in shock. Obviously an incredible feeling, and just have my teammates come around and like jump around me, hug me, tell me that they're proud of me was an amazing feeling. So it was definitely a good, like, blessed moment to see the 10 finally come up.
And to do it in front of the home crowd too, had to make it a little more extra special.
Yes, for sure. It's just so nice to have friends and family there. I'm close from here. I'm from Hazlitt, so lots of friends and family there to like see that moment, and just see them in the crowd was very special.
You mentioned it right there, you're from Hazlitt. What's your first memory with Michigan State Gymnastics, being so close to campus growing up?
I would always train at Twistars, like in the mornings, and then I would come like to the meets after Saturday morning practices. So just coming to the meets and watching the girls compete was probably my earliest memory of Michigan State Gymnastics.
So now getting to actually be a part of the program for the past 4 years, has it registered that little Jory that used to come to the meets is now the Jory that's just etched her name in the history books?
I love to take the moment to like sit back and reflect and be like, wow, I was once like sitting in the stands watching, dreaming of this moment, and then just to truly be living it is something that I'm extremely grateful for, and I love doing it.
If you watch you during any of the meets, you're a specialist. You don't compete in every single event, but you're probably the loudest person on the sidelines, I guess if you call him that. What kind of role have you really taken on, knowing that you're not going to be in every single event, but to kind of be there for your team?
Yeah, it's something I love to do, to be able to support my teammates. I mean, they work incredibly hard. I'm so proud of everybody, and kind of a goofball, so I love to just try to make the girls laugh and uplift them and prepare them for it before they go, just to tell them, like, I'm proud of them, they got this, like, you've been putting in the work. It's nice to be able to be on the side and like soak in the moment with them and just celebrate with them.
You go from winning the Big Ten regular season to getting the first perfect 10 on uneven bars.
Our champion this afternoon,
And now you look towards this weekend, senior day. What is senior season? I mean, is this something that you imagined your senior year would look like?
Of course, it's something I've always dreamed of. It's definitely going to be bittersweet. I'm very excited for this meet. I think it's going to be filled with so many emotions, and yeah, it's of course always been something I've dreamed of.
Jennison Fieldhouse will be the place to be tonight for the Spartans' final home meet of the season. As for us, this is our final show of the year, and we thank you for being with us each and every week. Have a happy and healthy weekend, and we'll see you in August.